Welcome to In Touch with Durham County. I'm Deborah Craig-Ray, General Manager of Strategic Planning and Innovation. Joining me is our co-host, Wendy Jacobs, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners.
Thank you, Deborah. We use the show to share vital information about the wonderful programs and services provided by Durham County Government.
The Community Child Protection Team is a group of community representatives who promote a community-wide approach to addressing child abuse and neglect. Ben Rose, General Manager and Social Services Director, along with Christy Malott, Chair of the CCPT, are here to shed light on the critical role this group plays in our community. Donna Rewalt is the new Director of Cooperative Extension, and she will join us in our second segment to talk about her work and the leadership of this unique department. We have important information to discuss on this show, so let's get going, Chair Jacobs.
Thank you, Deborah, and thank you, Ben and Christy, for being with us today. Ben, before we start talking about the Community Child Protection Team, please tell us about who you are and what your role is in the county.
Sure. Well, I serve as Director of Social Services for Durham County, and as Ms. Ray said, I'm also serving as General Manager in an interim basis over the Human Services Department. And with Social Services, I lead a 500-plus agency providing a huge array of services to our citizens, everything from economic support benefits to child support to child welfare and adult services. We provide well over 150 types of services in our department to help the well-being of our families, of our disabled, and of our seniors.
I know you have an incredible job.
And
our Social Services Department does amazing work.
Thank you.
It really does. And Christy, tell us about your experience with child welfare issues and what led you to seek an appointment with the Community Child Protection Team.
Sure. So I have both professional experience and personal. I'll start with the personal. My oldest daughter is adopted, and at one point in time, she was actually a foster care in the Durham County Department of Social Services Care. I served for about 10 years in some capacity with the Guardian Ad Litem program, representing abused and neglected children as both a GAL volunteer and as a staff attorney. For the last 5 years, I've worked for a nonprofit called Justice Matters, and we offer both immigration and family law legal services to victims of human trafficking, and in an effort to protect children from becoming victims of human trafficking. So I'm very passionate about this work and felt like serving on the CCPT would be an opportunity for you to use my legal skill set in a way to continue to serve Durham's most vulnerable children. And so I applied and had the amazing opportunity of joining the team, and then when a chair was needed, I was excited to do it.
Wow, fantastic. Well, you certainly, on your personal level and also professionally, we're really lucky to have you.
Thank you.
In this role.
So now that we've talked about sort of how you got involved, help our viewers understand the purpose of the team.
Okay, do you want to take this one?
Sure. Well, the purpose of the team, it was established in 1991 across North Carolina, that each county have a community child protection team. And the purpose was to bring together community partners to really look at a community-wide approach of child abuse and neglect. So we bring experts to the table from all areas, health and human services, mental health, medical. We have people from EMS. We have just a wide array of people represented at the table. And we actually sit down and talk about cases and problems that are facing our families in regards to child abuse and neglect. So it's a systematic approach. Everyone has their expertise. They bring that expertise, and we can actually look at solving systematic problems to improve services for our families and to get the help our families need.
Great. So who are the members and how often does this team meet?
So the team meets every other month, and the members are appointed in the general statutes. We have certain departments that are represented. And then in addition to the mandated departments such as public health, district attorney, mental health, a medical provider, we have additional appointments that the Board of Commissioners can make to help enhance the team, we like to have potentially someone who's received services. For example, they bring a very unique perspective. So if we have a problem getting a resource, we have all these various experts at the table.
And I would just add there are 10 mandated members on the team,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Board of County Commissioners can appoint an additional 5 individuals to serve.
Great, great.
So how can people find out about joining the team, and are the meetings open to the public?
A portion of our meeting is open to the public, a portion is not. The portion in which we review actual cases brought forward by the Department of Social Services, or perhaps a team member requests to review a particular case, those cases are not open to the public. But a portion of them are, and the dates that our team meets approximately every other month are listed on the Durham County website where the commissions are located.
And how could people join a team?
So if someone works for one of the 10 agencies that's mandated by statute, and that statute is in the Juvenile Code, Chapter 7B, if someone works for one of those organizations like DSS, the Guardian Ad Litem Program, the District Attorney's Office, then he or she could request to serve on the team. And if someone does not work for one of those 10 mandated agencies, then he or she could apply through the normal application process for committees and task force, and that application is located online through the Durham County website.
Right. What should people do when they think that a child is being abused or neglected?
So if someone really suspects that a caretaker, like a parent, is abusing or neglecting a child, they should contact the Department of Social Services at 919-560-8424. That is our intake line, and they should file a report. People need to understand when you file a report, we are not 911. We're not an emergency response system, so you're going to get a lot of questions. The report that we take is actually, I believe, 19 pages. So be prepared for a lot of questions because we need to get all the information that we can get. You don't have to have every piece of information, but have as much information as you can and tell us about what you're seeing, what you're observing. And then our department will take that information and they will screen it and review it to see if it meets the statutory definitions to be assessed or investigated. We don't really want citizens trying to determine that. Let us determine that. If it feels like abuse or neglect, if you think it is, make a report, and we will put it through that process.
And I would just add that it's mandatory by state law.
That is correct.
Yeah. Once somebody makes some type of a claim, what kind of outcome should they expect? I mean, should they expect that they're going to hear back, or that something's going to happen, or that someone will follow up with them? What does that process look like?
Yeah, sure. So basically, when you make a report, you have one of two options. You can leave your name, and if you do that, you have the right to get follow-up information. You will receive follow-up information if the report is accepted, or if it's screened out, which it would be not accepted. And if it is accepted, you will receive a decision in the case probably within the next 30 to 60 days, usually, based on how long it takes us to complete the assessment. If you choose to be anonymous, which is, you're right, we don't encourage that. We really prefer our reports not be anonymous, but it is their right, then you would just forfeit your ability to know that information. But some people just don't feel safe leaving their name. They feel like it might get out, or the family might find out, so they choose to remain anonymous, and that's perfectly fine. But we will push for people to share their name because we can follow up and get more contact or more information if we need to.
Now, you talked about sometimes the report is screened out. Tell us kind of what that means and what can someone expect if a report is screened out.
Sure. So there are times we probably screen out about 50 to 60% of the reports we get, because we have to determine if the information rises to the level of statutory child abuse and neglect. And that is a difficult process, and it's not always a clear line. But again, that's the process that we want to go through. So if we do screen it out, we simply may not knock on that family's door. Now, we may offer services if we feel there's something there that needs at least addressing, we still may offer services, but they would not be mandatory for the family. The family would optionally decide if they want to take it or not. Yeah. So if we do screen it out, we simply will not open an official case. But if we do screen it in, then obviously we will knock on the family's door and try to assess the situation and try to determine if the allegations have some validity to them.
Okay, we're about out of time. We got time for about one more question.
Well, I guess, Christy, I'd love to hear from you. What are anything else that you would like to discuss at this point and make sure that our audience knows about?
I would just really encourage people who are interested in getting involved to contact Director Rose, to contact me, contact DSS if you're not sure who to get in touch with. We always need guardian ad litem volunteers in Durham County who would advocate for abused and neglected children. The Department of Social Services is happy to have people who are willing to serve as foster parents if you want to explore that as an option. If you think that you have some experience in this area and you're interested in serving on our team, we would love to have people join our team. Educate yourself on the issues related to child welfare, because children all around you are in need of support, and we can support the children just in our neighborhoods, in our school system, and those that we see on a daily basis.
Well, certainly, this is certainly a very valuable team, much needed team, and we'd like to thank both of you for all that you do to protect our youngest citizens.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
All right. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will speak with Donna Rewalt, Director of Cooperative Extension, and we'll see you on the other side of our break.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Did you know that April 1, 2020 is Census Day? The 2020 census is coming, and the Census Bureau is hiring thousands of full-time and part-time staff right here in our community to help ensure its success. The census matters to all of us because billions of federal dollars are available to cities, states, and counties. This money helps improve our roads, schools, hospitals, and indeed our quality of life. In addition, representation in Congress is determined by an accurate census count. Census jobs offer competitive pay, flexible hours, and in many cases, you can work locally right here in your own community. The North Carolina pay range is $12 to $22 an hour. As a census team member, you can help shape Durham's future. If you are interested, you can apply online. The application includes assessment questions about your education, work, and other experience. Now, applicants must be at least 18 years old, have a valid Social Security number, be a U.S. citizen, and pass a background check. To join the 2020 Census team, call 1-855-562-2020 or visit the website at www.2020census.gov/jobs. Shape your future. Start here. Welcome back. Chair Jacobs, let's continue our show.
Well, thank you for being with us here today, Donna. And some people may not be familiar with Cooperative Extension, so can you tell us a little bit about all the multitude of amazing things that happen over there?
Yeah, I sure will. I'm really glad to be here. Cooperative Extension is unique among county departments. It is a local and state partnership that has a history of over 100 years in the United States and is in every county in North Carolina and every state in the United States. So what we do best is we take research-based information from our local land-grant universities. In our case, that's North Carolina State University and North Carolina A&T University, and we deliver that information into the community. A lot of people know Cooperative Extension from some of its traditional origins of providing agricultural information, providing great information about food and nutrition, canning, a lot of those types of things. And many people know the 4-H program. In Durham County's invested a great deal in expanding the services of Cooperative Extension. We have some additional services, including an early childhood program called Welcome Baby, that some may be familiar with, another youth development civic education program called Kids Voting Durham, which is part of our community outreach program of work, which also includes parent advocacy training for families in Durham Public Schools, and also our facilitation and leadership development and team building. Our family consumer science area is also very well known for its food nutrition work, and we integrate that actually throughout all of the programs that we do.
Wow, amazing. So you are not new to Cooperative Extension, and can you tell us, you've been with us for about 14 years, can you tell us a little bit about your role and how you moved into this position?
Sure. I mean, not new is a very nice way to describe that, actually. I like that. Yes, I've been part of Durham County. I've been blessed to be here for over 14 years, particularly working in our community outreach area. I do a lot of work with facilitation and team building, and I did a lot of work across all of our programs, promoting the programs and sharing the work that we do. So a lot of that prepared me to be an extension director. I think at my very core, I love Durham. I love the people in Durham. I love the community. I've lived here for over 20 years now, and while I wasn't a native, my mother was. So I grew up here visiting here as a child. I remember seeing the dinosaurs at the Museum of Life and Science. So I really love the community. I love what Extension can do for Durham. It's a flexible and nimble organization, which is two words everyone always thinks of when they think of government work. But it's amazing how we can respond to emerging needs quickly. We can answer questions of folks directly in the community, and that's inspiring work. We have a great staff, and I'm thrilled to be able to work with them every day.
Wow. Well, one of the things I love about Extension is the philosophy on self-sufficiency.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And sustainability.
Yeah,
Yes.
we were definitely focused on helping people be able to gain the tools and resources that they want to make their lives better, improve their quality of life. Right. Absolutely.
So agriculture and farms are not as visible here because we're an urban community, right? So, but they both are here. So what are the hot topics in agriculture in Durham County for Cooperative
Yeah, I think
Extension?
that's an interesting thing because people here love things like farm to table and local foods, but a lot of times we don't think of agriculture in Durham County in the same breath. 95% of our county is not rural, it is urban, and 5% of our county is rural. But we have over 230 farms in Durham County. They're smaller farms, but in addition to that, we have a lot of folks who are growing non-traditional crops or smaller crops. We have folks who grow microgreens in a room in their house and actually are able to make money doing those types of activities. We have a lot of interest right now in things like hydroponics. Hemp is a very hot topic. As I think we all well know, the state has had a pilot project and they're debating about how to continue. But we get a lot of questions about things like hemp. A couple of things that we have coming up are our horse pasture workshop this Saturday, which is in northern Durham County. We have a great deal of horses and livestock in the county, and we actually still have openings for folks to attend the horse pasture workshop. And we also have farm school coming up. We partner with other counties to help beginning farmers or farmers who really need to work on their business practices. And it's a multi-month cohort of beginning and emerging farmers who work together to learn how to develop their business.
You mentioned earlier farm to table, and I know that's within your family and consumer science programming. What does that involve?
Well, it's interesting, people say that's a very popular term, I think, right now. And in family consumer science, we're focused very much on food and nutrition, on helping people make good selections of food, but also delicious food, as well as being nutritious. And so we have a large-scale community garden. So it's not your typical corner community garden. It's very large on some property that NC State has allowed us to have here in Durham County out on Briggs Avenue. And that garden includes more than 50 plots. We have plot owners who raise food on those plots. Then we also teach those same folks how to prepare that food. Some of that food goes to food pantries. We also have bees and we make honey. So we take that food and then we can do wonderful work with programs like Mindful Moms and other food nutrition programs where we take food that's actually grown and bring it into the kitchen, into our food lab in our extension office.
Very nice.
So I'm glad you brought up the Briggs Community Garden,
know
which
you
is
love it.
fantastic. How can people get involved with that garden and also with some of the other programs that are related to that, either as a volunteer or as a participant, because I know that it's really maintained by the people in the community.
It is, and it's a great way to volunteer because you can help others. You can also raise some food yourself, and we also work with the Durham Tech Food Pantry where we provide food as well. We have work days every Friday morning and every Saturday morning until I think the end of November. You can call our office at 919-560-0525 and ask for our family consumer science agent, and she can give you any additional details that you might need. But anyone can volunteer. Any ability, any age. Our volunteers come from all walks of life.
That's great. So we know that another big focus of Cooperative Extension is on developing the skills and talents of our youth, and 4-H has always been a really important part of Durham and Durham's history. Tell us more about the 4-H program here in Durham and also how people can get involved in that.
Yeah, I think when people think of 4-H, if they think, to their background, they may think that 4-H is only for kids in agriculture. Mm-hmm. And we do have clubs and kids who are involved in working with cows. And we have kids who are working on farms, but we also have kids who are working with computers. We have kids who are learning to be entrepreneurs. And we have kids who combine all of that together. So we have them working in many different areas. We provide a full program of 4-H activities, both clubs that provide interest areas for kids to be involved in, and the age group runs from ages 5 to 19. So in addition to that, in addition to the clubs, we also do camps. So we have summer camps, both day camp and residential camp, that kids in Durham can be involved in. And we just hired a new 4-H agent, so we're looking forward to some new and exciting things from him as well.
Wonderful. Now, kids voting is something that a lot of people hear about, especially in this election season and the election season to come. Talk a little bit about that, and since we've got a primary coming up.
Yeah, kids voting is definitely hot in our office right now. Mm-hmm. There's ballot boxes all over the place. It's a very exciting time. We try to make local elections come to life for kids. Really what impacts most of the lives of our youth are the local elections. Our county commissioners, our city council. This year it's city council and mayor. So we have a year-round civic education program that's designed to educate kids and also support teachers in educating young people about their civic life. So we've had a candidate forum actually last week with all of the mayoral candidates and our city council candidates. Mm-hmm. And a couple of them did say it was the best forum they'd attended. No offense to the other forums. But they do a great job with that year-round program, and teachers really love it. We've trained, I think, about 200 teachers this year.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, much of Extension's early childhood work is done through Welcome Baby.
Yes.
Talk to us about Welcome Baby.
Well, Welcome Baby is a wonderful program. A lot of folks know the Giving Closet, which mm-hmm. is a wonderful opportunity for folks to get free clothing for their children, or our car seat safety program, which allows car seats on a sliding scale. But what they may not know is that we have wonderful education for families, wonderful evidence-based programs like Incredible Years, Mother Read, programs that help families raise their children and help them be healthy and happy, and help parents get a little bit of peace sometimes too.
Yes.
And this year we added an Incredible Years for Autism class, which has been very popular as well.
Wonderful. Well, Donna, this is a great show, but we're about out of time. Is there anything about Cooperative Extension you want to share before we leave?
Well, I think the important thing about Cooperative Extension is that any question you have, you can call us. We're open normal business hours, 8:30 to 5 o'clock. You can call us. We'll answer your questions. If we don't know, we'll tell you we don't know, and we'll connect you with someone who does. Whether you're bringing in a soil sample or whether you want to know how to potty train your child, or find something for your young person to do after school, we may be able to help you with that, and we'd be happy to do that.
Great. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and please come again. Chair Jacobs, indeed, this has been another wonderful show, and we've been able to provide some good information about some important topics.
Absolutely, and I encourage all of our viewers to share this outstanding information with your friends and neighbors.
We will continue to explore interesting topics and provide shows that are helpful to our viewers. Please join us again for the next edition of In Touch with Durham County. Cheers.